So in this video, I'm gonna break down just a few different ways of how we can be more shifty. There's so many different ways of so many different things that go into being a shifty player off the dribble and even kind of in triple threat, which we'll talk about a little bit as well. The first thing I'm gonna start off with is just I think there's so many misconceptions that like if you do more dribbling drills, if you do more moves, then you're gonna end up being shiftier. And yeah, that's certainly the case. Like the more basketball you play, the more you watch and kind of emulate some stuff, then the more shifty you can be for sure. But I think that just like anything else, if you're able to break down just the little nuances that go along with being a shifty ball handler, you're going to be so much better off. It's going to be so much easier to understand how to be shifty. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just different ways to attack space. And you can see in this one right here, just like the first video, you can see Tatum's footwork where he's skipping to attack space. He's coming down transition right now, a lot of space between him and his primary defender. So what he needs to be able to do is close up this gap, close up this space to be able to kind of get that defender on his heels and then be able to attack. If he just kind of takes off right here, obviously that leaves Sadiq Bey a little bit of room to be able to go cut him off. But if he goes right at him, gets the defender on his heels, and then he's able to make a decision whether he wants to change directions or pull up, then it's going to be a lot more effective. So again, you can see that right foot just skipping into space, getting downhill, draws a foul. Right here, you see Jaylen Brown going with kind of like a float footwork. Just again, there's so many different footworks. I won't go over too much in depth, but I just want you guys to be able to see the concept. Again, just being able to attack space, closing up that space between him and that primary defender so that you can get that defender on his heels. Again, here, this time he kind of goes a hard dribble jab, Shea does, to a step back jumper. Same thing, hard dribble jab, attacking space by creating a little bit more space. When there's space, you want to be able to either close up that space or create more space. And we'll obviously talk a little bit more about like side steps, different step backs as well. But I just want you guys to be able to see a lot of different examples of being able to attack space. So going into or going out of attacking space, I want to show you guys how to be able to read space. Again, spacing is huge, especially when we're in ISO situations. So you can see right here, Tatum going to the size up right here, notices that as he's kind of sizing up Olynyk right here, that where is there space? All ISO basketball is we're trying to get that defender off balance or out of position and then be able to get to space. So, I think the term creating space is overused a lot, and I think the more we can think about how do I get my defender out of position, and then how am I able to get to space afterwards. So you can see Tatum kind of going backwards to space in this situation. Again, Paul George sizing up, going backwards to space, seeing that defender is already playing off him a little bit. Defender's playing fairly even, so he's just going to go out to space. Tatum, same thing with this side step. Tatum pushing Blake Griffin back, getting back to space. Again, just reading where there's space. You see right here, boom. Where, especially, and we'll talk again more about this when we go into side steps, but where is there space? There's going to be space, obviously, where right here at the top of the key, but we want to think about going away from the middle of our defender's frame. So Giannis is honestly shading Tatum right, and although he could attack this high foot, what we want to do, especially when we're trying to, again, kind of create some separation or create space on these side steps or setbacks, and whenever we're trying to create separation, we're trying to go away from the middle of our defender's frame. So the middle of our defender's frame is obviously middle of Giannis' chest right here, so we're trying to go backwards at this angle. Tatum realizes, how Giannis is playing him, so he goes ahead, step backs away from the middle of his frame. You can see how long of a contest that is. Like if Tatum was to kind of take this shot right here, Giannis can easily contest that. But because Tatum kind of goes towards his right, side steps towards his right, now look how much more space there is. Giannis goes up to contest, but that's still too much space even for him, and obviously his freakish wingspan. Same thing here. Tatum kind of probes his baseline, goes back out to space. Again, just going away from the middle of that defender's frame when we're thinking about these side step jumpers or these step back jumpers. Shea sizing up Ja. Same thing, just realize, you can see that little hesitation right there, that little lift, realizing that there's space that he can get back to, so he just goes ahead and takes the easy one. A little easy for him, I guess. One of my favorite things is when people talk about changing speeds, and it's such a cliche. How do we change speeds though? So there are a few different ways that we're going to talk about changing speeds. These first couple, I just want to show you where we're just taking off with the basketball. So when we're dribbling that basketball hard, we're taking off along with it. See right here, boom, ball goes, our body goes right along with that basketball. So super simple. Just want to show you guys a few examples of this. Again, same thing. Last one right here, taking off with the basketball, something that we've been doing since day one of playing basketball. Now we're going to go into our kind of delay explosions where, we let the ball go first and then we go. Draws a foul right there. Same thing. Ball goes, then body goes. Ball, then body. He does a great job letting this ball hang and then just kind of twisting that ball out to be able to throw himself downhill. Notice again, he's not going at the same time as he dribbles right there, going slow between your legs and then taking off, waiting for the ball to hit his opposite hand before he takes off. Just a different way to be able to change speeds. Again, something that's been super common in the last few years, something that I'm sure all of you guys have seen or probably have been doing anyways. And now we're just going to go into more of these twitches. So now that we understand how to go with the basketball, we understand how to kind of delay that explosion. The more we can kind of fake that explosion with these little twitches, which has become a lot more popular as well. You can see ball goes, and then we're kind of really faking like we're going to take off. See same thing here. Just look at that left foot with Paul George. Let me just go a little bit slow motion with this. You can see that left foot just kind of like twitching right there, just really faking that explosion. And just look at Devin Booker too, like how that makes Devin Booker have to react. Again, all we're trying to do, you see Devin Booker is kind of shifting over now. Right now, he's in good guard position right now. That little twitch just throws him a little bit off balance. And from here, he's off balance the entire time, right? All we're trying to do is get that defender a little bit out of position, a little bit off balance, and then we can really make our move. So you can see even Paul George with this move right here. Tries to take off on the first one. He twitches on this first one. Boom. Shemi does a great job cutting him off, and then he hits him with another one. So, but the main thing is he's setting him up. So a lot of these moves are just based off of setup. So he twitches, gets him a little bit out of position on the first one, and now that Shemi's kind of closing back out, now Paul George can really hit him again with another move where he really catches him. And this one, his footwork's a little bit different where he floats into it. It covers a little bit more ground. So instead of just kind of tapping that foot or twitching that one foot, both feet are going where he's covering a little bit more ground. But the same concept where he's really just faking that drive, pulling back for the jump shot. So a few different footworks that we can go along with it. But these little twitches is the main concept. Same thing here with Tatum. Short, violent fakes. We don't want to be too, too elongated with it where we're like really throwing ourselves off balance. But you can see these short, violent fakes, just getting that defender have to flip their stance, put their hand up, raise their hips up, step forward, anything that we can do to get them a little bit off balance. Same thing here, another little twitch. Just a couple more, guys. Here, let me go back a little bit. See right here, fakes left, hard shoulder, fake, hard, everything is just, if I pause it right here, everything is just really looking like he's going to take off towards the left. So hard shoulder fake towards the left, hard foot fake towards the left, and then change directions. And last one right here, this is a really good one where he's kind of changing up cadences as well. Again, we talk about that float where he's adding a few different footworks into it as well. Overall, the same concept though, just faking those drives. You see how aggressive he's really kind of digging that right foot, that ball side foot right now, which is his right foot. How aggressively he's digging that into the ground. And again, just looking at the defender's stance, you can see how much he has to flip his stance. Right now, he's going up, he's going back, going side to side. So just getting that defender have to move a lot more than they want to. We allow that defender to kind of just stay in rhythm, stay on balance, and just kind of stay even with us. Where that defender is not in an uncomfortable position, then it's going to be a lot easier for them to be able to dictate us as offensive players. So one more thing with changing speeds, we talked about kind of being squared up and twitching, going with the basketball, delaying explosions. The last one is just these hip rotations where Tatum does a great job of kind of attacking in transition. You can see he's starting off in a closed position where he's fairly nonchalant. He's obviously just looks like he's just chilling for the most part. Hips aren't even facing the basket. He's not even square to the basket. And then at the last second, he just kind of opens up his frame and then changes speeds along with that. It's just he's just pivoting with that opposite foot. And this is something that he loves to do a lot where he'll just kind of take you out to space, take you out to an open area, make it look like he's not really doing anything, like he might just be setting up a play or something. And now he's just going to really twist open, get downhill, and then make a play. Draws a foul right there. Same thing here. Paul George coming off a dribble handoff, coming uphill, gets a switch. See, same thing. Not really facing the basket right now. Then he opens up, fakes that drive to the right, crosses back over. Same thing with Shea right here. These little hip rotations. Again, just kind of going from a closed position to open position to be able to change speeds as well. You're going to see a lot of change of speeds with in this segment as well, but we're going to talk about really changing levels. And what I mean by changing levels, you can see Jason Tatum is going up, he's going down, so it's a lot of kind of going up and down with our body, and along with that, you're typically going to change speeds as well. But I just wanted to show you guys how changing levels is a great way to be able to, a great kind of thing to add to your change of speeds as well, to really kind of get that defender off balance. So you can see him lifting up right now, dropping back down, especially on his side steps. He does this a lot, where this one you can see even he kind of twitches right here, just really putting all these things together now. Little twitch, but he's lifting up on this side step, and once he, on the setup, he lifts up, getting that defender to lift up along with him. And now as that defender lifts up along with him, he's able to kind of separate out the space. So while the defender is going up, Tatum's going out, and that's how he's creating separation on these side steps. Same thing here. You see those shoulders kind of shrug up a little bit. Boom, getting that defender even back up. You see Pirtle's kind of stepping back a little bit when those shoulders kind of shrug up. Just kind of even going back a little bit, hands going up. And then Tatum goes ahead and sidesteps out the space. Again, getting that defender out of position. Doesn't have to be side to side every single time. Doesn't have to be backwards, forwards every single time. But you can see right here. Here you can see him even kind of changing levels, going from high to low on the dribble, on this little kind of setup dribble. And then he lifts as he's lifting back up. Again, talking about getting out to space. Where is there open space? Where's obviously there's a ton of open space here, but what's going to be the longest closeout possible for that defender? It's going to be away from the middle of his chest. So Tatum just goes ahead and steps straight back instead of having to do a side step. Same exact concept. Getting that defender off balance, and we're finding space. How do we create the longest closeout possible for that defender? Now we're just going to talk about just changing level and then break down dribbles. Same thing here. High to low, high. You see even these twitches right here. We talked about twitches where we're kind of faking downhill or faking side to side. Essentially just faking the drive with the twitches, but you can see the same thing where he's faking this kind of shot with the twitch as well. Just, again, little short fakes. It could be a short kind of shot fake or a short fake with the drive. Going high to low again. These little hezzy shot fakes draws a foul. Same thing here where he's just relaxed, getting out the space. And then high low, boom. Michael Porter, the human traffic cone right there. This one I love. These little hezzy shot fakes. You see I still that little trigger right there as well, right? Where Brown is slightly dropping his hips just to really kind of fake like he's going to get into that shot. You see Vooch right here. Just look at Vooch's stance. Good guard position, hands up, ready to contest. And then as soon as that fake goes up, that left foot stepping up, that left hand goes up to contest, and it's over. Tough shot. Just letting you guys watch the rest of these. I think the more that you guys can watch these, obviously a lot you guys have probably done majority of these, but the more you guys can watch it, the easier it is going to be for you guys to emulate. Like I could tell you guys, how to do it and what to do as much as I can, but at the end of the day, I think that it's best for you guys to be able to watch some of these things as well. Just to be able to kind of like figure it out on your own and try to kind of learn on, copy on your own. I think that's one of the best ways just to be able to learn. But you can see right here, as I go back into more talking, but you can see these twitches right here. Again, we talked about the downhill twitches, the fakes, we're faking that drive going downhill, but you can see these shot fake twitches as well, where that right hand goes up, gets Michael Green to raise up out of his stance, and now that he's out of his stance, now we can hit him with some more moves, right, and really just kind of getting him off balance, getting him out of position, right. As soon as that defender steps out of position in one way, and we hit him with another move, it's going to be really hard for them to be able to kind of get back on balance and get out of position. Now they're really trying to just play keep up at that point, where obviously that's where we want them. Draws a foul right there, Paul George does. Last one off the dribble. Again, just being able to change levels along with changing speeds. And the last thing I'm just going to talk about is just doing the same exact concept just off a triple threat. So whether it's on out in the perimeter, whether it's in the mid post, you can see on these kind of rips where Tatum's obviously keeping that ball protected in a high position, ball is literally above his head, so he's staying straight up. And then on these jabs, he's dropping into them. So we're not just being super stagnant or super staying at one level with these jabs. You see he's obviously selling the drive, but he's going up and down, which really sells that drive. This is a really good example right here. Gets into kind of a post up. See, same thing here. Simple jab and go, but again, look at the cadence, right? You can see as he lifts up, gets that defender to lift up a little bit. You can see Resh's palms start to show right here. So right here, palms are down. Brown starts to lift up, palms are showing, and then he just goes ahead and drops back down. One more time, you can see that high to low jab and go, just really shifting that defender over. So we think about shifting, obviously, with the dribble, but same concepts can be done off the catch as well in triple threat position, whether it's in the mid post, whether it's in the on the perimeter. Last one right here. Again, these little twitches, even the twitches right here, you can see he's twitching with the ball, twitching with that foot, just getting John Wall kind of out of position, going high to low, gets him back for a knockdown jump shot. So again, guys, there are a few different ways, obviously attacking space, reading space, different ways to change speeds, different ways to be able to change levels along with change speeds as well. Mastering all those things is going to be huge for just being a more shifty basketball player.